So let's start with this. One of the guys asked him, look, you got a lot of kids in there now. You only added one veteran bat. Do you feel like you could have used more? Here's what obviously.
It's interesting because like what a difference a year makes with the prospects. You know, a year ago, you had acquired the Tigers acquired Justin Henry Malloy and some other players, and they're like, okay, where's Malloy going to fit? He can hit, but where is he going to fit in the field? They're going to try him at third base, going to try him in the outfield, they're going to try him numbered maybe even at first base. You know, Colt Keith was moving through. What is he? He's an infielder. Is he a shortstop? Is he a third baseman? Is he a second baseman? They got Jace Young. What is it? No. All that's settled now. Now it's settled. Colt Keith is going to play second base, and he's going to make the team out of spring training. Like they got him. They already signed this long-term contract. It's amazing. Jace Young, they're going to give him every opportunity to be the future third baseman of this team. So that's where you're looking at for him. And Justin Henry Malloy, he's going to have an opportunity to make the team out of spring training. Not likely to, but they're saying now you're an outfielder. Learn to play the outfield. And they told him that a long time ago. So like months ago they told him this. So he's been working the entire offseason working on his defense and becoming a better outfielder because he can flat out hit, and his on-base percentage is like well over 400. So now they have defined roles for these prospects, and I think that's a good sign.
So it's interesting, right? Because you think about the young bats that they have: Riley Green, Spencer Torkelson, Parker Meadows, Colt Keith, and Kerry Carpenter. I mean, those are all relatively young guys in their major league careers. It is foolish to think all five are going to hit, that all five are going to play at a high level, unless Brad Holmes selected them. But it's possible. It probably won't happen that all five of them are here for the long haul, but keep an eye on them. And then you mentioned Jace Young, who right now, third base, it's like, hey, Matt, Zach, keep the seat warm until our guy is ready to take over. And then he said, if not, we'll audible. There are still players out there that you can go get, but they are, I mean, this is the future. The future is now. It's half your lineup is young kids. Half your lineup is young kids.
And you're still going to have other people that are pushing. You know, Justice Bigby, who tore through the minors last year. He's an outfielder. He's going to be pushing. Hopefully he can pick up where he left off, which was hitting really well. And, start at AAA and you see where you go from there. But there are guys that are going to be pushed. You know, Parker Meadows doesn't have a long track record of being a guy who can hit, but made the most of his opportunity last year. You got to stay on top. You can't just rest on it. And Riley Green has to stay healthy. Torkelson's got to take a step forward this year, being a better hitter.
More complete hitter.
Yeah,
swings and misses.
Got great power. Showed it in the second half of the season. He was a force in the second half of the season, and we'll see. And I think bringing a guy in like Mark Canha is an extra outfielder who's a veteran player who has great plate discipline. It's exactly the type of player that Scott Harris preaches about, and hopefully this is a guy that can lead by example. And by the way, can Javi Baez give you anything?
So your veterans are Jake Rogers at catcher, the two players we mentioned that are going to split time at third base, McKinstry and Vierling, Baez at short, and Mark Canha in the outfield. By the end of the year, could Jace Young be at third?
Yes.
Could he be at third?
Because he tore it up last year, hitting for power, hit over 20 home runs. So that's a guy that you're looking at, and obviously his brothers hit the ground running in with the Rangers organization. Love to see it.
All right, so question is, this is a very winnable division. Very winnable division compared to the others. Doesn't mean the Tigers aren't behind the Twins, but it's kind of the Twins and then a whole bunch of people scratching and clawing for second place, of which it feels like the Tigers are considered the favorites of those teams to finish in second. So why not add more and make a run for it? Here's what A.J. Hinch said. Matt Chapman still being out there, third base. This is a guy who's Gold Glove third baseman. His numbers kind of plummeted last year. He's north of 30. That would have been a big signing, and it would have cost some money. But that's an example of the kind of thing that they didn't do.
Yeah, and it's you would look at it in hindsight like, oh, that's brilliant. At the time, a lot of people can be impatient about it, and I get it, and even just wanted to see, younger players brought up. We've been to a degree impatient about that, but it feels like this is the year that we're getting our wish.
The young players.
Yeah, because we're seeing Torkelson and Green. They're in a lineup every day. And, when we're going to see Parker Meadows, he's going to continue to have his chances. And the fact that they did sign Colt Keith to this extension, which has only been given out to a handful of players, that's exciting because that shows how much they believe in him. And he did everything he had to in the minors. He was like Kerry Carpenter, did everything he had to in the minors. Just give him a chance, and boom, give him a chance, and he flourished.
He talked a lot about competition with the starting pitchers, but would you feel better if Blake Snell had been brought in here? And these have been big-time moves that, he still isn't signed. But he's looking for a contender. But if he's still not signed, does he take a call from the Tigers?
Well, I mean, if you're Blake Snell, obviously you have your probably preferred places you'd like to go. And you recognize now, because you haven't been signed, that your price tag has gone down significantly if you wanted to go to, say, the Dodgers or the Yankees or Boston or whatever, right? But the Tigers, if you were Blake Snell's agent and you wanted, and Blake has let you know, I just want to play for a contender, you would have to pitch him and say, look, you go to a team like the Tigers, solidify that rotation, that division is so winnable, and just get in. And that team is young enough and impressionable enough, and they're moving in the right direction that maybe they're going to surprise some people. You could latch on to a team that could be a winner here. I don't think the Tigers are just one player away. Blake Snell would be an amazing pickup, but yeah, I'm not sure.
Is the only way this happens is if the Tigers get off to a white-hot start and
he's still unsigned? Perhaps.
Okay, more from A.J. Hinch this morning as Tigers have everybody reporting soon, and Tiger manager joined the morning show. Will they get more out of Javi Baez? Hear what he had to say today at 1:02 here on Carson Anderson, 97.1 The Ticket.